$230. But okay, the Razer green switches, the Razer yellow switches are actually really good, and like the green switches I'm not a big fan of. But okay, so you do get a detachable wrist rest, Razer Hyperspeed wireless. Okay, so it's wireless, that's the reason for the price increase. But $100 price increase, I don't know if it's worth all that. But I know the stabs were actually improved on this keyboard. Aluminum, detachable wrist rest. I don't know, the price, again, with the price, to ask for $230 for this, I don't really know. You're getting an extra media function on top, so that could like add for some of the price, but it doesn't have the extra function keys or like media keys on the left side of the keyboard that I think the G915 did have. So I don't really see why we're increasing the price as much. If it's the green switches, it's definitely not worth this much. Yellow switches, I'm a fan of linear, and I know the switches are subjective, but at the same time, I can't stand them. Yeah, the yellow switches are very nice. Double shot ABS. Again, we're not even getting the PBT keycaps here. I don't know. I don't think it justifies the price. So we're gonna put it, but you are getting a lot of nice stuff. Like you get the media keys, you get the USB Type C still, but I just can't see me putting it any higher than C purely for the price. You do get wireless, but at the same time, for $230, like there's a $50 keyboard that can give you wireless. Like there should be no reason for bumping up the price $100 just for wireless capability. And even the K530 had wireless, and even though it wasn't that great, like yeah, not for $230. That's more than the Mass Drop Alt, which is giving you hot swap. Because I also have to compare these. The Mass Drop Alt, aluminum build quality, just like this keyboard. You're getting hot swap, unlike this keyboard. You're getting gray USB Type C. You're getting better lighting on the Mass Drop Alt. You're getting overall better aesthetics, and you're getting it for cheaper. You're getting PBT keycaps. It like these can't compete. So you're going in the C tier. You're getting that extra functionality from those couple of keys, but I'll be honest, most people probably use it, and if they do, then it's like, why are you getting this keyboard over another option? See, this price, like compared to the BlackWidow V3, this looks a lot more reasonable. Coming in at $150, you are getting those couple of extra media keys that you were getting on the BlackWidow V3. The swappable switches. So see, that's a nice feature that would make me think, okay, this is a $150 keyboard. You're getting some swappable switches in the 10 keyless, touchable, okay, micro USB. So that's a point I'm taking off. You're getting some height adjustability here though, so that is nice. Getting those extra function keys since it is 10 keyless. So you're getting like some swappable switches with the Logitech series of switches, which I don't know, in my opinion, like I've said with the other keyboard, like if we're swapping out switches, let me swap out switches with a bunch of stuff, not just like your specific brand of switches. I don't know. I feel like it's like we're getting hot swap, but it's like it's a watered down version of it. And then we're also getting micro USB, $250. What keycap material is being used here? I feel like part of this is just, you guys can also see how I look at keyboards, and like obviously like specs aren't everything with keyboard. You have to actually use the keyboard, but I'm just doing the best with with my experience. Like I said, I'm not an expert keyboard person or enthusiast, but I do like my keyboards. And these are just some things that like baseline specs that I look at, and I can kind of tell from like what shortcuts are being taken, and like I can kind of get some background knowledge about the product or the keyboard or whatever it is. There are certain things that I like to see as someone who has done tech reviews. And right now, for under $50, micro USB, watered down hot swap. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the keycaps are ABS material, because they definitely would have mentioned if it was PBT. Another keyboard that I probably am going to put lower, just because I don't understand why the price of it's so high. I'm gonna also put that in the C tier. I don't understand why you'd get a 10 keyless of this over a 10 keyless of another keyboard. I don't know. I couldn't recommend it at that price. If it was lower, yes, but not at that price point. So $130, a lot cheaper than the Apex Pro, but we're not getting those OmniPoint switches. We still are getting this LED screen, which is nice. See, this is a keyboard I probably would recommend over the G Pro X, because it's $20 cheaper, the same switch options. You're getting a detachable wrist rest, getting an aluminum frame. You're not getting the hot swap, but the hot swap wasn't great on that G Pro in my opinion. This is a nice touch, the LED screen. I really like that. All right, I'm pretty sure this is micro USB, because they most definitely would have mentioned. I don't even think you can take the cable out of this. I don't even think it's detachable. Yeah, the only thing detachable is the wrist rest. Like I said, I could see, like, I don't know. For me, I'd probably get this over the G Pro X, but I don't know if I'd rank it any higher just because while the G Pro X was a little bit higher, it did have hot swap even though it's watered down. So yeah, the price is lower. I don't know. If I had to pick between these two, I'd probably go with the Apex 7. But like I said, I don't know if I'd rank it higher just for that. Corsair K100, $230. Let's go. Oh gosh. Oh, you get a lot here though. You get the multimedia scroll wheel. You get a full-size keyboard. You get these extra functions. Looks like you get a volume knob. So you get a lot as far as... This looks like a very full keyboard. And this is like a newly... I think they re-released this. RGB options look incredible. And the lighting actually looks decent as far as brightness, but it looks like you get an insane amount of control. The IQ software is actually, like, out of the softwares that for most of the big companies, probably one of my favorites. Oh, this is with the 4000 hertz pulling rate. Get linear switch options, great brightness, macro control with, okay, stream integration with Elgato. Oh, this is frustrating. Okay, well, they do use PVD double shot keycaps, just from what I can tell. This is one of the few keyboards, it's packing so much into one keyboard that I could see you charging the $200 price point. $230, it's kind of pushing it, but at the same time, the level of customization and control and overall access to the amount of things you can do with this keyboard, I don't blame them for pricing it at $230. I definitely would, if I was going to pick up this keyboard, just because I don't really use full size, I'd probably pick it up on a sale. $200, definitely worth it, but I really like the amount of things you're getting there. So I will put this in the B tier, but only because just the amount of things you're getting here. And the keycap material looks good. I'm also going to put this keyboard in the customs, and I think that is all of the customs here. Oh, no, let's do the Varmilo EC V2. So this keyboard, I've literally just heard amazing things about it. $125 or $120. So switch selection isn't amazing. The typing experience that I've heard from this and what you're getting out of it would warrant a higher price. $130 though makes me kind of want to put it in the A tier. But from what I've seen, I think it can be in that S tier. Moto Speed 60. Okay, so it's just about the same price as the RK61. Okay, so this has a worse battery than the RK61 because the RK61 has like a 1450 milliamp hour battery. This is a 1300 milliamp hour battery. It's $2 cheaper, but I'm gonna say they're basically the same price. Bluetooth 3.0. Okay, that's not good. So this just looks like a much worse version of the RK61 for basically the same price. There's also, like I said, I have to compare these, and I would not recommend a worse version of a keyboard that you can get for a better price. Why would you pick this up over RK61? I'm going to put this in the F tier because the RK61 kind of makes this a no-brainer. There's just really no reason to get this keyboard from what I've seen. Okay, you're getting some media control. This keyboard looks really outdated. 10 keyless, aluminum frame, B pass-through, dedicated volume control, 1000 hertz pulling rate. It says ABS keycaps. I don't know. I don't see why this keyboard would be priced at $120. It looks pretty basic to me, but also looks outdated as well. It just doesn't look that good. RGB doesn't look very bright. I also put this in the D tier. Maya Pro EC V2. Okay, but this time we're getting the typical switch options that you might get on like a Ducky board, minus like the new Kale options I think Ducky just started offering. I've only heard good things about this keyboard. Build quality looks good. Aesthetics look amazing. USB Type-C, PBD keycap. Overall, looks really good. Like I've said, on these like Varmilo keyboards, it's just the typing experience that you're getting is really good. And I don't think the price is anything too crazy, at least for what you're getting here. I don't know. I just feel like it's definitely worth the price. Should be in the S tier. All right, I'm going to take a little break really quick, and I'll be right back. All right, what's up guys? We are back and we're gonna be doing the last couple of keyboards on here. I'll be honest, these are the keyboards I'm least familiar with, so take that with a grain of salt, but I want to finish the list for you guys, and you guys really like part one, so I appreciate that. And let's finish the rest of this video. All right, so let's do these last couple of keyboards. This is the HyperX Alloy Origin Core, I believe. So let's do some research. It has the custom HyperX mechanical switches, an aluminum body, TKL design with a detachable USB Type-C cable. Looks like the RGB is pretty good. Onboard memory for 3 profiles. I personally haven't used the HyperX switches, so I can't speak to the quality of these switches. But from what I've heard, they're actually pretty good. Aluminum body, detachable USB Type-C cable, so that is awesome. But this actually looks pretty good. I just don't know what the quality of the switches are like, because I haven't personally used them, like I said. But I know HyperX makes some great keycaps. I love their HyperX putting keycaps. This looks like it could be a real winner. And for 90 bucks, you know, it's cheaper than the 1-2 Mini, cheaper than the GMMK. And it's a TKL keyboard, you know, it's not just a 60% form factor. So if you do want more control, more media keys, stuff like that, this could be a great option. And I really like what I'm seeing here. I don't want to take too long on just these one keyboards because we have to get the rest of them done. But I think I'm going to put this keyboard in the... I'm going to put this keyboard in the A tier. I really don't have any issues with this keyboard. The price looks good. And just from what I'm seeing, like I said, these are the keyboards I'm least familiar with. But it does look like it is a good value. And the construction looks good. The RGB looks good. It has USB Type-C. Only thing I did not like because of the keycaps. Well, I do think they have good keycaps. I didn't see anything about them saying that these particular keycaps were were like the high quality ones that I know they have, that they sell like in individual packs. See, they say right here that they sell their double shot PBT, but it doesn't say that it comes with their PBT keycaps. Yeah, it doesn't come with the PBT keycaps from what I'm seeing. It actually comes with the ABS. So like I said, just if it came with the stock keycaps, they use like their pudding keycaps or just their higher quality PBT, that might even be an S tier for me, honestly. But from what I'm seeing, A tier, and I digress. We move on. All right, this is the Roccat Vulcan TKL Pro. So let's just do the TKL Pro first. All right, so the TKL Pro actually hasn't come out yet, so I'm just going to rank it based off of what I know. This keyboard hasn't even been released yet, so unless you got a pre-release copy, you can't really know for sure. Same TKL design. It looks like it's a low-profile keyboard, so similar to like the Logitech G915 in that aspect. It's low-profile keyboard. I thought this was going to be like the Apex Pro. It's just like a optical switch that's really fast. Okay, that's still good though. The lighting looks really nice on there. That lighting actually looks really, really nice. I like the look of it. I mean, it looks kind of gamery, which I usually don't like. Volume wheel or something right here. It looks like this keyboard's just a low profile optical keyboard with a TKL form factor. They didn't mention that the cable was detachable or if it was USB Type-C. So like usual, I'm just going to assume that it's not USB Type-C because usually a lot of companies want to mention that if it is. I do really like the aesthetic of it. I'm just going to put it in the B tier because I feel like it does deserve to be in there from what I've seen from it so far. But like I said, this keyboard hasn't even been released yet, but it does look promising, so I will put it in the B tier. All right, and then this is their other keyboard. Oh, another low profile keyboard. The new one that we just looked at, the TKL Pro version, that's with optical switches. I'm assuming that this isn't with optical switches and this is just regular mechanical switches. So that is just like a newer, better version. This also has the same aluminum frame. I think they are priced the exact same. Yeah, they're both $160. This ABS. I'm just gonna put this in the B tier. Actually, I'm gonna put this keyboard in the C tier, honestly. It is an optical, and really like optical is gonna push that to a higher tier. I'm just gonna put this keyboard in one tier lower just because it's not optical. And that is a big deal for a lot of people, the response time. And also it is for me as well. I'm just gonna rank this one, the HyperX Alloy Origins mechanical gaming keyboard, because I'm not really sure which one it is. I know it's the full size form factor, but a couple of them are full size. So we're just going to do this. So it does have 3 different height adjustability options. Again, 3 profiles. So I like that they do keep that consistent across their keyboards. It has a detachable USB Type-C cable. Doesn't have USB pass-through, but that's fine. Full size form factor. RGB looks good. Comes with 3 different switch options. No other options though as far as color. So this keyboard has to come in like that matte black that we usually see, which is also... That's good. Quickly put this keyboard in the C tier. I don't feel like it's worth $110, maybe $100. I could see it because it is a full-size keyboard, but at the same time, I don't think it's a terrible value, but I think you could definitely get something better for your money. And I don't see like a robust option of multimedia keys. If it had like a lot of good multimedia keys, I could see that. And I do like that it has USB Type-C. The RGB looks decent, but for under $10, nah, I don't really see that. All right, cool. Razer Huntsman Tournament Edition. Let's do this keyboard. So for $130, comes with the linear optical switches. Keyboard has some of the fastest switches, and I'm not saying they are the fastest, but they are fast. I just really love the Razer's linear switches and their Clique switches. It's just my personal preference. I really like a lot of Razer switches, but you know, I don't think they have the best switches, but they do have some really nice switches. They did have double shot PVD keycaps on here, detachable USB type C. Okay, let's see. Bottom row. Cool. Razer Synapse software, not a fan, but I don't hate it. Yeah, it has a really short actuation and a really low travel distance. I think it's actually a decent value. You know, it's not I don't think it's, you know, the absolute best that you can do with $130, but I also could see why you would go for this keyboard. As long as like you're able to market, like you can hit your target audience, like and you're going for like the bleeding edge. And I'm not saying this is like the bleeding edge fastest keyboard, but if you're trying to appeal to people who want the best of the best, which is what this keyboard did for a good amount of time, because there were so many comparison videos between the tournament edition of the Razer Huntsman and the Apex Pro. So people were either getting the Apex Pro or the Razer Huntsman, and people would debate whether which one was faster. And I'm not sure which one is absolutely, you know, the fastest of them two, but I do know that a lot of people were buying it for the speed. So, and on top of that, this had double shot PBT. This does have the USB type C. The switches, I really love them. I'm going to put this in the A tier as well. I feel like we did a pretty good job with the diversity so far with the tier list, guys. We only have a couple more, but now that I'm looking at this, it's like we got all the customs up here. Like I said, customs, you're going to make them exactly how you want them. We have a good amount of keyboards in the S tier. You know, probably more than I would have thought we would have put in the S tier. All these keyboards, I think, do deserve to be in the S tier. I wouldn't change it now that I'm looking at it. These look fine. The A tier looks good. The B tier looks good. The C tier looks good. You know, I only have a couple keyboards in the D, the F tier. I haven't put anything in the garbage tier. Guys, like, I'm looking at this list and like I feel like the diversity is pretty good. You know, like all these lists have 6 in them. I didn't mean to do that. I just realized that now, but yeah. I feel like if we added one more keyboard, we might be able to get something in the garbage tier. I mean, this keyboard arguably could go in the garbage tier because honestly, I'm just going to put it in the garbage tier just because, like I said earlier, this keyboard's kind of irrelevant when you have something like an RK61. I just don't see why you'd spend all the money on that. All right, cool. Let's do this last 2 keyboards and then we'll wrap it up. All right, cool. So the main differences here is I think the tournament edition is faster. It has the faster switches. Tournament edition is under $30. This keyboard is only $90. It's a $40 price difference. And the RK61 is $50. And sometimes you can catch it for $45. So I'm going to say it's about a budget keyboard's difference worth of money. You know, it's $40. So that can definitely increase the quality of your keyboard significantly. Okay, it still has aluminum construction, so that's good. I believe the keycaps, yeah, they aren't PBT anymore. They're just regular ABS. I really don't like full-size keyboards. They're just way too big on my desk for me, and I get by perfectly. I really don't need the numpad. I don't believe this has a USB Type-C cable. Okay, so it said as a stabilizers. Like, some of these keyboards, I can't really speak to the stabilizer quality. Just because I haven't actually used the keyboard and I'm not familiar with just the regular Razer Huntsman, at least not as much as I am with the tournament edition. I'm not really impressed with this, especially when you can get a Ducky 1-2 Mini for $10 more or a GMMK for $20 more. But I don't think it's a bad value because it is a full-size keyboard. Still really like the Razer switches. It's just you're not getting, you know, you're not getting a detachable cable. You're not getting PVD keycaps. You're getting an aluminum frame, which is nice. Oh no, for $40 is a steep price to pay for, you know, those few extra additions. But I do think it is worth it. But I don't think this is a bad deal either. So I'm going to put this keyboard in the B tier. The last keyboard we have on the list is the Cooler Master SK30. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with this keyboard whatsoever. I just know it's a low profile keyboard. Okay, it looks like it's around $100 on Newegg. All right, so it is around that $100 to $120 price point. It has like that 6-step incline. Doesn't have any extra multimedia function keys. you know, besides like the normal function keys and the extra keys up here. I'm talking about like a media wheel or an LED screen or anything like that. Besides the aluminum frame and 1000 hertz polling rate, I don't see them talking much about USB Type-C detachable cable. That's good. Decent value for what it looks like you're getting here. Just cherry low profiles. Not really a fan of low profile keyboards, but if I were to pick up a low profile keyboard, this would probably be what I'd go to, just because it has cherry switches, which have been known to be, you know, not the best, but you know, they're essentially the standard for mechanical switches. I know that I'm gonna get a solid typing feel since I do have the switches, the cherry switches. Keycaps look fine, you know, not anything crazy. Oh, this also comes in a smaller form factors. Oh, that's awesome to know. It does look like it's a decent option though. I'm gonna put this keyboard in the A tier. Kind of conflicted because these keyboards, especially these three, are $100, $110. I'm saying this is $110, and then I'm looking at the GK61 and the SK64 and the keyboards I have in the B tier. Considering whether I want to move this down to the B tier, keep it in the A tier. On the one hand, it really isn't anything special. I like the features getting here, but I don't see, you know, it's not a hot swap. It's low profile. Compared to some of the prices of these keyboards that are kind of expensive, I think it's a better value than those. But again, it is an optical. GK61. Alright, I'm going to put this keyboard in the B tier. I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't deserve to be up here with the Apex Pro and the Hades. I feel like it maybe if it was optical and they gave me more reasons about the keycap quality, I just feel like it didn't do enough compared to these keyboards. When you have a keyboard like the GMMK only 2 tiers up, you have a keyboard like the Mastrop Alt that's hot swap, you know, amazing keycaps, amazing lighting, amazing aesthetics, and a keyboard like the Hades. I don't think it's on that level. Kind of bothering me we don't have anything in the F tier. I could just move the Red Dragon K530 to the F tier, because honestly this I have the same problem with this keyboard and this keyboard. When there's a keyboard like the RK61, it's like, why are we gonna pay $20 more or $30 more for the exact same keyboard that doesn't have connection issues, that has the same exact things basically? So yeah, I'll just leave that in the F tier. So I changed that up just because I wanted something in this tier. And if I had to pick between these two, I would pick the Red Dragon over the Moto Speed. This does deserve to be in the garbage tier. So yeah, this is definitely a garbage tier. This is F tier because it's a little bit better than that. K65 a little bit better than that. And then we get to the C tier, the B, A, and S, and the customs. So yeah, guys, that is gonna wrap up the tier list. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want me to do a mouse tier list or any other type of tier list, please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you made it this far into the video, put RGB down in the comment section. I know that it's random, but it lets me know that you made it this far into the video. And I'm sorry that I couldn't go too far into depth on some of these keyboards. I'll be honest with you guys. Like I said, I didn't create the tier list. My friend Too Much Tech did, but I did want to do the tier list. And I really enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. But like I said, you know, this was just a fun thing to do. And I love a lot of these keyboards, especially the ones I put in the S tier, obviously. But yeah, this was fun. Put RGB down in the comment section. Let me know that you watched the video all the way to this point. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, you guys are awesome. And I'll see you guys in the next one.